This is not going to be one of those videos where I give you 16 ways that you are going to transform your social media and become an overnight success as a content creator. No, because not everybody learns that way. What I've discovered in the last 4 years of being a content creator is that a lot of times the best advice that I've gotten hasn't actually been overt advice. It's just been someone who is doing what I wanted to do, telling me how they got there, what worked for them, and their story. So that's what I'm gonna tell you today. Hi, if you guys are new, my name is Lydia. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how you found this video. But if you didn't know already, I am a full-time social media content creator. But first and foremost, I am a mom and a wife and a woman who has way too many things going on in her life at any given moment, which means that I had to build my content alongside a full-time life. And it has been a journey over the last 4 years. So I'm going to tell you guys exactly how I started and how I got here today and some of the standout moments along the way. My hope for this video is not that you walk away from this feeling like, oh yeah, I now have the formula of how to become a successful content creator on social media. That's not what I want this video to be about. I want you to walk away from this video feeling like you can do what others have already done, because at the end of the day, it's actually not super complicated. And I think sometimes those videos that give you 16 things that you need to do to, make 6 figures in 6 months with 6,000 followers, I feel like sometimes those can be a little bit overwhelming. But if we break it down to like what actually worked and what is working, it feels a lot more digestible. So for me, content creation actually started with network marketing, MLMs and network marketing. And I will tell you right now, you would be shocked at how many of your favorite content creators, especially content creators in the mom niche, started out with a network marketing company. So that's where my social media journey started. I started really posting on social media consistently because I was with an MLM, I was with a network marketing company, and I was in it to win it. I was so invested in the product. I was so invested in the company. I was all in. I was building a team. I believed in the product. I still use the product to this day. I'm no longer with the company, but I truly believed that that was the thing that had been put in front of me that I was supposed to run with, that I was supposed to grow a multi-million-dollar business with this MLM company. And that's why I started posting on social media. Now, like I said, I'm no longer with that company. So how did I get to that conclusion? Well, I'll be honest, I started to realize that particular opportunity was limiting a lot of my potential opportunities because I was so sold out on that one singular thing that I wasn't allowing myself to diversify into other things. I wasn't allowing myself to branch out. I wasn't able to do other things in other areas. And frankly, my entire social media platforms had been about that one thing. They weren't really about me. They were about that thing, and I was trying to sell that thing. And it started to feel really, really limiting. And so I didn't initially just jump ship and leave the MLM company, but I started to have that kind of internal conversation with myself where it's like, you know what? I would really love to talk about something other than these supplements. I would really like to facilitate conversations and make content and get new followers based on something other than just this product and this tagline and this, just very single-minded, one-dimensional thing. And so that's what I started to do. And for a while, those two things kind of went hand in hand. Like I was seeing growth in one and I was seeing growth in the other. And my platforms were growing because I was being more authentic and I was being more real and I was being more diverse. And my business was growing because I was still kind of dabbling in that. But then it got to the point where I realized that this MLM opportunity was no longer an opportunity and it really wasn't serving me or serving my family. And so that's when I kind of went all in on the content creator route. But like I said, that happened over time. So the moment for me, and this feels like a little bit of a funny story, but it is like so key to my social media, quote unquote, success. As I was kind of pushing the MLM stuff to the side and I was beginning to sort of carve out my own space on my own platforms, which is weird to say because they're my platforms, they were mine, but I was starting to carve out my own space on those platforms. I had one video go viral. And this, like, I still remember it to this day. It was on TikTok and it was around, I don't know, October or November of 2021. And I had only had my TikTok account for a few months and I had this one video go viral. And it was just a short, simple video, just very short, very simple, very sweet. And this video goes viral overnight. I mean, overnight, 2 million views, which was just like mind-blowing and so overwhelming. I will say it was an incredibly overwhelming feeling to go from nobody noticing you to what feels like everyone noticing you and people commenting that we're not always nice or people who are following you. It feels very overwhelming to get that much attention. Like we all post with the intention of going viral, right? Like we want the attention, but then you get the attention and it can feel a little bit scary. It can feel a little bit overwhelming. So I had that video go viral and it was one of those moments where initially my initial reaction was like, I have to delete my TikTok. This feels scary, which was crazy because I posted the video hoping, like I posted every video hoping that it would go viral. And then this one goes viral and it feels so overwhelming that I want to delete my TikTok because I'm afraid of all of these people who just came out of nowhere. I had gone from maybe 1,000 followers to 15,000 followers overnight. Within 48 hours, that video had 4 million views and I had about 25,000 brand new followers that I hadn't had 2 days before. And I had a moment where I just kind of asked myself, what are you going to do with this? Like, what are you going to do with this? And looking back now, it felt like I was standing at the top of a mountain. Like I had summited this mountain, right? And it felt like I was at the top of the mountain and I had this snowball in my hand. And that's the viral video. I had the snowball in my hand. And I had the opportunity to just leave the snowball at the top of the mountain and say, yeah, I climbed that mountain once, yay for me, right? Or I had the opportunity to put the snowball on the ground and roll it down the mountain and watch it turn into a bigger snowball and then turn into an avalanche and then do it again and go climb another mountain and do it again and climb another mountain and do it again. And I just made the decision that I was going to take my snowball and I was going to shove it down that mountain and I was going to watch it roll. And so what I did with that is I just kept creating content that made sense. I identified very early that I had a niche based on my life, based on my lifestyle, based on where we lived. I had a pretty unique niche. And I just started creating more and more and more content that fit that niche, that all started from that one viral video. You are literally one video away from going viral. And as cliche as that sounds, it might initially be like, that's lame. It's so true. And even today, I feel that way. As someone who has over 500,000 followers across my platforms, there are some days where I can't figure out for the life of me why something will not go viral. And then I will post something random and it will immediately take off. And I will get tens of thousands of new followers from a video that it just happened that way. But the bottom line is it all happens because we post it and we create it and we put it out there into the universe. Yes, there are technical, analytical, standard operating procedure type things that you can do when you post that video. But the bottom line is consistency is the thing that separates content creators from people who go viral one time. One of the hardest things for me when I was initially becoming a content creator was I was really worried about what people would think about me doing content or posting videos or having followers. I was really internalizing what I thought other people were saying about me. And this happened, it happened out loud a couple times. You know, a lot of times you hear people say like, well, people aren't actually talking about you, or you're imagining that, or, you know, you're your own worst critic. I think those are true, but also you'll find that the people who are closest to you a lot of times are the least supportive when you start doing content creation and you start taking this seriously and you start trying to really grow and reach new audiences and go viral and take your snowball and put it on the ground and roll it and turn it into something bigger. You'll find that the people around you are sometimes not the most supportive. And I had that happen to me really early on, where we were at a wedding for some friends, and I had it was the original video that had gone viral. And like I said, I had gone from 1,000 followers to 25,000 followers literally within 48 hours. It was overwhelming, but very exciting. And I felt kind of proud of it. I was like, this is crazy. Like, how cool is this, you know? And then they started teasing me about it. And it was really strange because they're like, oh, so I guess you think you're an influencer now, or like, oh, Lydia, the influencer, look at her, you know, 4 million views, woohoo. And it really took the wind out of my sails, where it was like, I'm genuinely excited about this. I genuinely think that this is cool. I genuinely think that this could be a real opportunity for me, and yet it's a joke. And that can be really hard. That can be really hard. And I think that that's something that stops a lot of content creators before they ever find success, because someone says something and it takes the wind out of their sails, or they're so worried about what other people will think, they never give themselves the opportunity to work past that. Because I've reached a point in my career as a content creator that I know there are people who watch my content that maybe consider me to be their friend, but they don't wish me success. And I've come to terms with the fact that there are people who watch my content because they don't like me. But at the end of the day, I am getting the success that I want to have. And I am providing for my family, and I'm having a great time doing it. And that's what matters, not what they think, and not what they're wasting their time on. Because at the end of the day, if you're watching me when you don't like me, you're only wasting your time, not mine. One of the number one questions that I get as a content creator is, when did I really start making money? And that is a really hard answer to come up with, because it happens in different ways and it happens slowly. Because if I'm being transparent, when I was with the MLM company and I was doing direct sales, I was making money on social media. There were some times where I was making a lot of money on social media, but it wasn't sustainable money. Then when I started to grow my platforms and I started to rely solely on social media for an income, that income started out really small and really slow. And there's so many different ways that you can make an income. It's not just from views. Views are great, followers are great, but at the end of the day, the things that are really making a lot of money are things like brand collaborations. I didn't get my first brand collaboration until I had probably 70 or 80,000 followers on TikTok and over 10,000 followers on Instagram. And that brand collaboration was $500 for a full day of photo shoot. If you were to ask me to do that type of collaboration now, I would charge probably 4 or 5 times the amount of money that I made then. But then it felt amazing because I had my first brand collaboration. I got paid $500. It was amazing. I got these beautiful photos out of it. I worked with a brand that I loved. It was fantastic. But I had to get to a point where my platforms were noticeable enough for that brand to want to work with me. So was I making money before I got a brand collaboration? Yes, I was in the creator fund on TikTok, and that was pennies. I mean, maybe $100 to $200 a month. I was doing UGC collaborations, which were maybe like $10 to $15 a collaboration, where I would get a product and I would do an unboxing, or I would do a demo and I would post that on my social media, and I'd make $10 out of it. And at the time, that felt amazing, because it meant that my content was generating some type of income, even if the income was small. So when you're starting out your content creation journey, I think you have to give yourself a really, really good dose of reality. And you have to give yourself a really, really good talking to when it comes to your expectations, because everybody comes into this thinking, wouldn't it be great if I could make $100,000 a year doing social media? Yes, that would be great. But you have to ask yourself, how hard am I going to have to work, and how many years is it going to take for me to get there? Some people get there faster than others. That's just the reality of life. But are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to do, the $10 UGC collaborations and a full day of modeling for $500 and feel like you're on top of the world when you do it? And if the answer is yes, I'm willing to put in that work, you're going to be fine. Because the bottom line is, again, consistency is the only thing that separates good content creators from people who go viral a couple times and have a couple 100,000 followers. The people who are generating income on social media are consistent, and they are willing to put in the hard work, even when the hard work doesn't pay very much. Okay, so let's get down to brass tacks though. I'm telling you that you might not make very much money very fast, or it may take a while, or all of those things. When did I start really making money on social media? I would say that I started really making money on social media, strictly based off my content creation, 2 years ago. So I've been doing this for 4 years now, and I would say 2 out of those 4 years, I have really generated a good income. I recently just got off the phone with my accountant for a tax analysis going into 2025. And I can say that in the year 2024, I made just over $120,000 strictly on content creation, brand collaborations, all of the things that encompass my platforms and the business that I have created out of it. Last year, the year before that, I think I was just under $100,000. And the 2 years before that, it was pretty much nothing. So we went from pretty much nothing when I first started for 2 solid years, like very small amounts of money, okay? Enough to make you feel like, wow, that's nice to have a, couple extra $1,000, right? To making close to $100,000, and this year making $120,000. So was it worth it, the years that I didn't make very much money? Yes, absolutely, because those are the years that got me here. And those are the years that got me the followers that are now helping bring an income in for my family, because they watch my content, they enjoy my content, they engage with my content. That's another thing that I'll tell you guys. If you're viewing content, do the content creator a favor, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Those are free ways that you can help other content creators see success. And I don't necessarily believe in karma, but I do believe that when you treat other people the way that you would like to be treated, you're gonna see that come out tenfold. So if you're watching a content creator, hit the like button, leave a comment, share, subscribe, whatever it is that you feel inclined to do. If you're vibing with that content creator, or they're adding some type of substance to your content consumption, give them a little bit of something in return that's free, doesn't take you any time, and adds to their growth, because those are the things that help content creators get to that point where they can say, I'm really doing this. I'm really doing this. Is it really worth it? That's a question that I think content creators or aspiring content creators should ask themselves. Is it really worth it for you? Is the hard work worth it? are the seasons of content creation where you're not getting very many views, you're not getting very many followers, you don't have any brand deals, you're not making any money, but you're being consistent and it's just not working right now. Is it worth it? Because it can be stressful. It can feel like you're failing. It can feel like nothing is working. It can feel like, maybe this isn't my thing. It can feel overwhelming. And there can be times where you feel like you have so much going on that you can't keep up with it. But the bottom line is, if you enjoy social media, I will be incredibly honest with you. I would not be filming this content right now. I would not be filming this video and then turning around and editing and posting and doing all of the things to get it on YouTube. I would not be doing it unless I found some level of enjoyment. Yes, there is the underlying fact that this is my job, this is my career. I hope that eventually YouTube will be a form of monetization for me. But the bottom line is that you have to enjoy what you're doing. Because if you don't enjoy what you're doing, that's going to reflect in your return. It's going to reflect. You're either going to get burnt out, you're not going to see success, you're going to feel like you're not going anywhere, you're going to get overwhelmed, and you're going to be unhappy. But if you love social media, you love showing up on social media, you like creating content, consistency is the thing that will set you apart. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? There have been times in my social media journey where I have wondered, is it worth it? I mean, I could go get a desk job that might be less stressful than this. I could go get a desk job where my paycheck wouldn't depend on whether or not strangers on the internet like me this week. I could go do that. But the bottom line for me is that I really enjoy showing up in this space. I really enjoy making these videos. I love interacting with you guys in the comments. I like getting to know my followers. I like meeting people out in the great wide world where they say, hey, are you Lydia? And I go, yes. And they're like, I follow you on Instagram. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you. I love that. I love the opportunity that this has created for me. So for me, it's worth it. It's worth the effort. It's worth the highs and the lows, and it's worth the consistency that it requires to be successful. Thanks for watching my video, you guys. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and interacting with all of my content. I hope that me sharing my story of content creation was helpful for you. If it was, let me know in the comments what stuck out to you. Let me know what you're struggling with content creation, or let me know what question I didn't answer. If there's something that you'd like me to elaborate on, or just a quick correspondence between the two of us. If there's something that I didn't touch on, drop it in the comments and I'd love to have a conversation with you. And as always, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, hit the thumbs up button on this. And if you'd like to check out some more of my content, right here.